right? The first are the hip rocks. So you're going to plant one knee to the ground, shift your weight.
Seriously, buddy.
Do you actually want to do this?
I mean,
Mel.
yeah, I'm fine with
Okay. Okay, cool.
I was doing it anyway. I was just going to say, if you want to mute your mic and listen to music, that's perfectly fine. It really doesn't bother me.
Overhead, bringing those arms back to center. After that, you have the cross-leg squat. So you're going to shift your weight to the left and to the right, making sure you lift one foot and toe off the ground, shifting that weight to the left and the right. After that, there's a jack twist. You're going to imagine you have one object in your hand on the toes. You want to twist to the left and the right. Small bounce in the hips, bring that heart rate up. 5-minute block. Let's get to work.
I like the fun music for the warm up. Morning, Christina. How's it going, babe? I'll watch the clock for you. We'll switch sides when we're ready. Into one other leg. So make sure that we're keeping the chest flat by keeping the shoulders pinned back and down. We have a tendency to kind of start to cave through the chest. We want to think about keeping the upper body parallel to the ground. So just sliding back to open up through that hip. In 5. And go ahead and stand it up. So we're going to start to wake up and stretch up through those hamstrings. So we're going to sit it down deep into that squat. Ooh. Find those toes and lift those hips. We don't have to rush this. We don't have to fold over completely the first time. We don't have to squat down, thighs parallel to the ground the first time. Find your range of motion and start to increase it as the minute goes by. About halfway through. $15. We got 5 seconds. And we'll take it into that lunge with a reach. So again, we're going forward lunge, center the weight in the front heel, reach the arms up to the sky. Press back through that front heel and switch. Too much with the arms, just work on that front lunge, reach it up, bring the arms down and press it back. Play with it, whatever you need to do. Remember, the more we're moving, the more dynamic it becomes, the more breath we're using. But if we need to challenge or practice with that balance before we start to challenge those lungs, that's perfectly fine. A little more than halfway through. And Cossack squat, feet are wide. More than hip distance, twice if not 3 times. We're gonna take it low. Notice that she's not standing up at all. We're gonna shift it side to side. We wanna lift up onto that heel, that's perfectly fine, but when that foot plants, they better be railroad tracks. Belly button in, engage those lower abdominals. There you go, team, there you go. Just about 15, we're gonna find that jack twist. Think about your belly being a washing machine. Little chubby checker, doing the twist kind of action. 2, 1, So feet are planted, chest is forward. Jump and face the feet towards the right with the chest continuing to stay forward. Back through the midline. We can take it all the way side to side. We can pause in the middle in between. If we need to, we're going to stand it solid. Stand and twist. My brain doesn't do things like this. There you go, guys. Come on. 15. In 3, 2, 1, and done. Okay, dokes. Block number 1. It's going to be 4 minutes long. We have 8 repetitions, just 2 exercises. Our goal is somewhere in the neighborhood of around 3 rounds. We are going with that mini band around the low band position, finding it just above where we wear that watch. Hammer curl. That means palms are facing towards one another. Weights to the shoulders. Lower it back down. Again, after we come through those 8 repetitions, we're then going to take it to a hip hinge low row with a mini band, hinge it over, squeeze those elbows towards one another, finding ourselves pausing at the top, lowering it down with control. If we don't have a mini band, we can always do these exercises without one. We're working 8 reps, 8 reps. If you need me, go ahead and unmute your mic. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get started. So let's talk a little functional strength versus muscular, big old, let's talk about the outside muscles versus functional strength. So when we do our hammer curls and those palms are facing towards one another, we hit the biceps in the most practical way. This is how we pick things up. But we like to have the muscles bulging, and so we like to hit both heads of the bicep, and that's when we do that rotational curl. When we start with those palms facing towards the hips and then turn the pinkies in towards the armpits. So understand that when we hammer curl, we are building foundational and functional strength. And when we do those bicep curls, we're building the outside of the show muscles. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but understand there's a reason, a why behind both. Be careful you don't get your mini band all jacked up when you go to do that row. Don't be aggressive about pulling it so far in. Be aggressive about pushing the mini band out and really feeling that engagement through the shoulders the entire time. Whether it's the outside of the top of the shoulders or whether it's the middle of the back. So many mini band options. Okay, well, stuck on there though. So I'm just gonna stick with this one. Guys, we are halfway through the block. Again, our goal is to get 3 rounds through. We should feel that burnout in the shoulders. We're going for a little shaky here. "90 seconds, we'll move on to block number 2 of 4. Today is about 36 minutes, so not super short, but not super long. So get the best out of each and every moment that we're hanging out together. Oh, man, that mini band does me in every time. You got 1 minute. on, team, come on. We got less than 30 seconds. $15. In 3, 2, 1. If you need to finish up those reps, stand and balance, that's perfectly fine. If you're ready to put everything down, that's cool too. Block number 2. Another upper body circuit here. We have 8 minutes and 10 reps all the way through. Starting with that around the world raise. So think about laying on the ground as a kid making snow angels. Same concept. Pinching in that shoulders, reduce the range of motion. Uppercut, we take the palms to face towards the nose. We're going to press the weight. We're just going chin to forehead. It is not a big move. Elbows don't go higher than parallel to the floor. Moving on down the line, we got a hip hinge high row. So we're airing out those armpits. Let the breeze fly back as we try to tap those suckers in between. We're then going to take it into an alternating shoulder press. So finding our arms at a parallel, finding the upper arm parallel to the ground. So we don't want those elbows dipping down to the sides. We actually want engagement, and we want to have to work on practicing that stop. 5 on each arm or 10 in total. We have 8 minutes of work working upper body for fun, somewhere in that neighborhood of 10 pounds or greater. If you need me, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask away. Ooh, 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 ooh. So at uppercut, we might need a little bit lighter weight. Just make sure you're taking care of your shoulders by taking in consideration range of motion as well as weight choices. Really think about keeping that back flat and the belly button engaged. It's super easy to arch through the lower spine, to use the back to throw weights on our shoulder moves. But now we're in a big arch and all of the weight is no longer supported and stacked within the foundational building blocks of the body. So instead, plant those feet firmly, tuck the tailbone underneath, pull the belly button to spine. Find the hip girdle, the torso, and the shoulder girdle on that set position. So again, the uppercut, not a big move. Chin to forehead, pause at the top and lower it down slow. So in that hip hinge high row, don't just throw those arms back and then let them drop to the ground. Pause at the top. See if we can squeeze the elbows towards one another and engage for just a second before we release it down. So easy to let those arms collapse and so easy to arch that back on those shoulder presses. If we find that, like Coach Mel, that you couldn't keep that 90-degree angle, maybe we need to lighten the load ever so slightly. That's okay. It's not failing, guys. It's learning your own best spaces to be the most successful you possibly can be in each and every exercise. A little more than halfway through. There you go, team. Just about 2.5 minutes left in this shoulder block. Man, mine are getting tired. So again, as we come into the new exercises, do not collapse through the lower spine. Imagine the entire time your back was pressed flat against the floor, flat against a wall, or even the floor. That hip hinge row, even though we're folded over, look how flat her spine is. If we took a yardstick or a broomstick, it would tap the base of her spine, it would hit right between the shoulder blades, and it would find the back of her head, symbolizing that everything's in one good, lean, long line. 90 seconds left here in block number 2. Then we're halfway through our workout, team. That's pretty stinking fantastic. Here on our Monday morning, celebrating Greatest Hits Edition number 12. Woo! Oof. Man, it's amazing how fast those shoulders start to fatigue. But as the shoulders start to fatigue, as long as we're moving with good form, we are building muscle strength and endurance as we continue to press through that fatigue, that feeling of, I just don't wanna. We got 30 seconds, and then we can take a break. In 3, 2, 1, and relax. Again, if you need to finish up those reps, To finish up that exercise, you're always welcome to do so while we chit chat about block number 3. Block number 3, 10 minutes long, longest block of the day. We are going to do a little bit of cardio, a little bit of leg here. So 10 minutes of work, double dumbbells, finding ourselves in a swing lunge. That's a reverse any forward lunge to count as 1, 5 on each leg. We'll then move frog or squats. Toes are out, shoulders are back and down, explode through those tippy toes. If we're having trouble, we can always go ahead and just press up into our feet. Taking it into skier swings, those same medium weights. Remember, it's not necessarily about what's happening forward. It's about squeezing underneath those armpits. We got 15 repetitions. And then last but not least, we're going 20 jumping jacks. Regular old God-given jumping jacks. Arms go up, legs come out. If we need to, we step in instead. So notice that rep count is going to be 5 on each. 10 repetitions, 15 repetitions, and 20. Repeating for 10 minutes until time is up. Begin. If you need me, feel free to wave me down. If we need to do the swing lunge without any weight because A, your knees say so, or B, your balance says so, that's perfectly fine. Go ahead and find that first round, just body weight. It's going to be challenging enough. And then if we want to, that second round, we can pick up some dumbbells. I have to see where my knees are on a Monday morning before I can guarantee or commit to anything. With that frog or toes are ever so slightly out like a sumo squat, we're pressing the knees to follow the line of the toes. Don't let the knees collapse in, even though the toes are pointing outward. Chest is up, shoulders back and down. Again, not feeling super explosive. Tippy toes are your option instead. Most common mistake on that skier swing is probably going to be to let those knees collapse because we're worried we're going to smack our kneecap with one of those dumbbells. So just make sure that the knees are following the line of the toes. Again, with those jumping jacks, if we're not comfortable in that jump, we can always instead take it in a step. Oof. You're just not doing it this morning. That's okay. My knees and I came to an accord a long time ago. Oof. I do love how much of a challenge balance that swing lunge is. So just think about what's happening in the bottom of the feet as we go through each motion. Stepping forward into that lunge, remember you're pressing back through the heel. Stepping back in that lunge, remember we're pressing forward in the toe. Use the momentum of the legs, but don't let the weight swing. Woo. So we did a whole mock class yesterday, or a whole mock day yesterday. I'm not gonna lie. It made me feel a lot better about what's going on in the studio and understanding where things are going. But I taught the first one, so I didn't actually do all 3 hours of taking class. But I did take 3 classes in a row. There's parts of me that are a little tired. We're more than halfway through, team. Oh, there's 15 of them. Joy. Team, you're killing it. We're almost through block number 3. We have just one more, or we find our flexibility block. So push it all the way through to the end. You had dedication enough to show up on a Monday. Let's finish strong. Two and a half, guys, 2.5. And we're done with leg blockapalooza. Remember that skier swing. Don't let the weights pull you forward. We're not the Hunchback of Notre Dame. We gotta pop that chest like we're proud. Stick that diamond necklace out to be shown to the world. Gotta remember there's 15 of these. Less than 90 seconds. There you go, team. There you go. We're coming up on the final 45. How much farther can you get through? Not sacrificing form for speed, but just making sure that we're continuing to push ourselves to the next level instead of just waiting for that finish line to come crashing towards us. If we're working on those lunges, just make sure that we find ourselves ending in balance. We have about 50 or about 20 seconds left. In 5. And rest. Block number 4, guys. As they're saying, it's from June 21st. It's going to be down on the ground. We're going to be 5 minutes here of different kinds of core work. We're going to start with the forearm plank to alternating leg lift. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. Finding our body in that good plank position. See, I'd yell at him about that bent knee. You know I would. With that little arch in the spine. Back is flat. Think about lifting through the back side of the knee, not about lifting the foot. Leg raise. Now we're all about lifting the feet, driving those heels towards the sky, keeping the belly button engaged to the floor to keep the lower back safe, bend the knees if we need to, or one leg at a time. We're then going to find ourselves with an alternating toe reach. Keep those legs up tall. Oh, there we go. Keep those legs up tall, reaching towards the outside of the opposite foot. So he's going punch. You can put your hands together and you can do prayer hands to tippity tap the outside. But think about using those obliques, not just about sitting straight up, but pressing towards the outside of the opposite foot. 12 total reps or 6 to each side. 5 minutes. This is it. Core block to finish it up. So again, really think about lifting through the back of the knee. In general, all 3 of these exercises, think about keeping the leg as straight as possible. So a lot of these Orange Theory at homes I'm learning are mirrored off of the Orange Theory workout. And one of the moves we did yesterday a lot was the bicep curl to an uppercut. So instead of breaking them down, we did them once all together. And this alternating leg lift was one as well. Woo, Nelly. Twelve reps all the way through. 4 minutes of fun. We should be able to, at the very least, get through 2 rounds. We may be able to bang out 3 as long as we're moving with good form. You guys can move. Oh man, I forgot to start my fancy watch this whole time. I could have been getting credit for working out. Ugh. Tis what it is. Three minutes left in your workout today. Not a moment to be spared, guys. As soon as you finish one exercise, get right back into that next one. On that leg lift, if we need to, we can always come down to the knees here and extend it out, but don't let yourself shift back. You gotta keep those shoulders right over top of those elbows. Last minute, guys, 60 seconds of fun on your Never Miss a Monday sweat session. Oh, that's right, we're going to the opposite outside. Jimmy's. Team last 30 seconds. Well, it's more like 20 seconds now. So let's really focus up. Pull that belly button tight to the spine wherever we are. Lock the core like someone was going to give you a sucker punch and feel just a little bit stronger. 5 seconds. And 3, 2, 1, and done. You guys can stay down on the ground. I'm just going to grab my laptop. Go ahead and roll over onto your back. Pull your knees into your chest. Hug them close. Roll around like a little bug, like a little ball. Pause. Stop that share. Bring you guys to the front. Okie dokies. So again, as I was saying, hug the knees close, rock it left to right and right to left. Give yourself a little free lower back massage. Let's take both hands to the top side of the right knee. Extend the left leg tall to the sky. Bring it all the way down to the ground. If those lower abdominals are a little tired, it's okay. We can bend the knee. We may not even be able to get the leg down to the ground. Let's try to find the heel with a slight bent knee if we need to. Tuck the chin to the chest, flatten the shoulders to the earth. Relax the right foot. That's the one up in the air. Relax it. Reach out through the left heel and get the left calf onto the ground. Pull the right leg a little bit closer as we reach the tailbone to the floor. We're going to roll it right into a quad stretch. So roll onto your left hand side, reach back, grab those right shoelaces, squeeze the heel towards the high knee. Press the hips forward as we roll the right shoulder back and down. So we're not twisting through the torso, but opening through the front side of the shoulder. Release it out, roll onto the back, both knees into the chest, both hands to the left leg, right leg up, slow with control, take it all the way down. We may have to find that heel on the ground first with that back slightly arched and that leg doing all kinds of funny things. But just remember all of those steps. Pull the right toe back towards the shin, press the back of the right knee to the floor. Tuck the tailbone underneath so the belly button squeezes to the spine and the lower back is flat to the earth. Tuck the chin slightly to the chest, relax the left foot, and exhale as we bring the left knee a little bit closer. Feel that compression building up in the hip. Feel the spine reaching down towards the ground instead of curling up like a pill bug. Release it out ever so slightly and roll onto the right hand side. Find that sexy beach pose and grab those left shoelaces. Again, the shoulder peels open and we squeeze the knees towards one another. Release it out. Then roll onto our back. Give those knees one final hug. And then continue all the way over into our all fours position. We're going to exhale, arch through the spine, tuck the tail, and drop the head. Let's roll those shoulders back and down and pull the chest through the window of the arms. We're going to do a little bit of arm stretching as we come here through our lunges. So let's find that neutral spine. Walk those hands back towards the knees and bring it up to a tall kneel. Left foot is going to step forward as far forward as we can and sink down into that lunge. I'm going to tip my computer just so you can see what my arms are doing. Left foot forward, right arm comes across the body, give it a hug. Drop the right shoulder down, make space for your earring. Release the right arm, keep the left leg where it is. Right arm comes up and over, find the hand upon the elbow, give yourself a little tricep stretch. Release fingers all the way down to the floor. Left knee is gonna come back. Then bring it up to our tall kneel. Right foot comes forward. Make it go far. Make yourself stretch through the hip. We're now gonna take the left arm across the body, give it a hug, drop that left shoulder down. Squeeze those hips so they are parallel to the wall in front of you. Don't let that left hip drop back. Now sink deeper into your lunge. Ooh, hip flexor stretch. Release that left arm, bring it up and over. So again, the more we think about squeezing the left hip forward and the right hip back, the deeper you're actually going to get the stretch through the quad and through the hip flexor. Release those fingers down, right knee's gonna come back. Tuck the toes underneath, lift the hips and drop the heels, downward facing dog. Walk those hands back towards the feet. Roll it up one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders back and down, big breath in. Exhale, let it go. Round of applause for yourself. Round of applause for your neighbors.